Today, we're taking a look at the world of Rachel Evans, an entertainer who's built an entire global career around being a living version of one of the most famous dolls ever. You might know her as the human Barbie.
I mean, look at her. She's a model, an actress, and yeah, a very in-demand Margot Robbie impersonator. For Rachel, this isn't just a look. It's her whole profession. She's a regular face in global media, popping up everywhere from morning TV shows to the cover of The Guardian. She's managed to turn an image into a full-blown business.
But you have to wonder, right? Behind that perfect smile and all those camera-ready poses, what's really going on? Well, it's a story of some serious discipline, a little bit of media magic, and a really profound personal transformation. We're going to peel back all those layers. So here's how we're going to do it. First up, we'll meet the public persona. Then, we'll dig into the business she's built. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the physical work it takes to maintain that look. We'll even pull back the curtain on what you don't see on camera. And finally, we'll explore how this whole character came to be in the first place.
Okay, so let's start with the finished product, right? The polished, perfect image of the human Barbie that the world gets to see. This is a very carefully constructed identity, and it's designed to fit right into that classic Barbie universe.
And this quote from her, well, it tells you a lot. She once said that Ken isn't really a partner, he's more of an accessory and Barbie's biggest cheerleader. That one little statement perfectly captures the world she lives in, one where Barbie is, without a doubt, the star of the show. But make no mistake, this persona isn't just some fun side project. It's a real, meticulously structured business. Being Barbie? Oh yeah, it's a full-time job. And we're talking way more than just showing up and looking the part. Rachel has built this whole entertainment enterprise around it. I mean, check out this menu of services. She does personalized videos on Cameo. She's got her own music on Spotify. She even hosts a podcast. She has found a way to monetize every single piece of the persona. And she has the media credits to back it all up. She's been on major shows like ITV's This Morning and had her own Sky TV special. You know, landing the cover of The Guardian's lifestyle section, that's not just another appearance, that's a super strategic move that gives her brand legitimacy in a place you might not expect, and it opens her up to a whole new audience. Okay, so we've seen the persona and the business, but what does it actually take physically to build and maintain that look? Well, this is where you see just how much insane discipline is involved. Get this. For nearly 2 decades, Rachel has been on a constant journey of cosmetic transformation. But the reason she even started down this path, it'll probably surprise you. See, this whole thing didn't start because she wanted to become Barbie. She's explained that after dealing with borderline anorexia in her 30s, she lost a lot of the crucial fat pads in her face, which left it looking gaunt. So the first procedures, they were actually a form of reconstruction, a way to repair that damage. But it goes way, way beyond just cosmetic work. To maintain her physique, especially when she has a photo shoot or a big event, Rachel uses the same hardcore training and dieting techniques that competitive bikini athletes use. And the results are, well, they're precise. During what she calls a peak week diet, she can drop her weight from almost 57 kilograms down to just under 53. This isn't just random dieting. It's a super targeted, data-driven plan to get a very specific, camera-ready result. But, and this is a big but, she's brutally honest about the price she pays for that. She calls peak week a total mental battle, saying it can lead to feeling depressed and just completely wiped out. It's a really stark contrast to the happy-go-lucky Barbie persona, isn't it? And that brings us to the gap between what we see and what's real. And you know, there's no place where that gap is wider than on reality TV. Let's look at a specific example from her past. So back in 2014, Rachel was on that popular UK dating show, First Dates. On TV, it looked like a pretty standard blind date, but what was happening behind the scenes was a completely different story. So this is where you really see how the sausage gets made in reality TV. At the end of the date, Rachel was totally ready to say no to seeing the guy again, but she says the producers kind of talked her into saying yes on camera, telling her, it's not a marriage proposal. So why did the show's credits say they never met up again? Well, according to Rachel, after the date, the guy started sending her some really inappropriate messages. That was the real reason. It's a raw, kind of messy, off-camera moment that the audience at home never, ever saw. So how does all of this come together? How did Rachel Evans, the person, actually create Rachel Evans, the human Barbie? Well, the answer comes from her training as an actress. She actually calls the process birthing Barbie. It's a technique she developed from her acting background. She made a very conscious choice to, in her words, kill off all the other roles and personas she'd ever had and just pour all of that energy into becoming this one single character. And over the years, that line between the character and her real self has just completely blurred. She says it plainly. She believes Rachel and Barbie are the same person. And she has absolutely no plans to stop. For her, this is a commitment for life. And all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, especially today with personal branding and social media avatars. In a world where we can all kind of build and curate our own identities, Rachel's story really makes you ask, where does the performance stop and the real person begin?